Hello everyone, I'm Rick Janzen. Welcome to my fly bench. The Chironomid. If you're watching this channel and you're a fly angler, you know how important it is to have a variety of chromies in your fly box. A BC Chironomid fly box is simply not complete without a selection of chromies. Most chromies are tied with anti-static bag or window tint, and it's a great material for those flies in sizes say 12 and up. However, the problem with those materials is they're simply too thick to tie the small chromies. Those I'm talking 16s, 18s, and 20s. And chromies are still very important at those smaller sizes. The BC Fly guys have come up with a pattern they call Up in Smoke. It uses a smoke buzzer wrap over a white thread underbody. It's a great pattern, and I have a selection of various sizes and different colored ribs in my fly box. However, I was looking for a pattern that has a bit more of that reflective nature. Their pattern has more of a blue dun look to it, and I wanted something a little more glossy and reflective. I've come up with one that I call the Smoke and Mirrors variant. Let's take a look at the materials you're going to need to tie it. Okay everyone, into my vise I have a Togen's number 12 scud hook. Now as I said in the intro, I typically tie this in smaller 16s, 18s, and 20s. And but for the purposes of the camera I needed a larger hook so that you could see what I'm doing, get some idea. To that I've added a 3/32 white bead to represent the gills at the top of the fly, and I'm using my burnt orange 70 denier tying thread because I want a burnt orange collar at the fly to represent the wig buds here. So we're putting in that thread, securing it on there, getting it well started, and then coming in with my extra small UTC black wire. This is for the rib. Now I've also tied this with the red copper wire for a rib and a wine rib as well. So this black is a very common color combination with the chromie is the black rib. There, now that I've found the end of the wire, snip that off with my dedicated wire scissors. Extra small is pretty much all the wire I use in most of my Chironomid patterns, unless they're very large like bombers, because I like how it keeps the slender nature of the fly. Let it slip out. Just holding it off to the side of my side of the hook here so it doesn't twist around the body of the hook, the shank of the hook. Get that down in there. Now the first thing to come in is our smoke fly box buzzer wrap. And a single strand of that. This is going to be the overskin to the fly. It's the same material that the BC Fly guys used in their Up in Smoke pattern. So I'm just getting that slender filament of that out of the package here. And we'll get that secured in near the butt of the fly or tail of the fly here. There we go. Give a wrap or two to get that secured in. And now I'm using small or medium, actually this is probably medium because of the size of the fly, silver tinsel. This will be the underbody. And what I do is I'll take that tinsel and I'll give it a snip just to taper it on the end there like that to ease the tie-in point. I like to get that little angle on there. It minimizes the material at the back of the fly so it doesn't bunch up. I need to twist my thread. Okay, we're going to get that point there tied in. There we go. Work our way back just a little bit toward the tail or bend of the hook, and then back forward again, so we got that well secured at the back. And now we're going to use the thread just to build up a bit of a taper, not too much. I like slender chironomids. The naturals look so slender that I would like to keep that aspect of the fly to keep the realism there. So we got that locked in there. Now what I do is, this is a bit of the fussy part, because I want a nice taper on this fly. I hold the other two materials forward. I give and start a wrap here, and I'm pulling it down the far side of the fly, and then I come in up behind the wire and the buzzer wrap. I want that chromy taper at the back there, and then I come forward again, forward of the wire and the buzzer wrap, and then complete the underbody here with the silver tinsel. Now this is tinsel that has two sides. It has the gold side and the silver side. I want it with the silver side out, although I have tied some with the gold side out, and they've done surprisingly well. And sometimes it's been totally by accident. It's like, oops, got her done, and it's gold side out. You know what? Don't throw them away. Sometimes they're the key to the day. So get that tied off there. And it doesn't need a lot because it's just tinsel. So we get that snipped up close. And now we're following with the buzzer wrap, and again starting behind the wire, cover up that tinsel that's at the tag end there, and then bring the wire forward, and then cover up everything as much as you can with the smoke buzzer wrap. There's a lot of it here. It's very thin material. You don't have to worry about it overlapping. It's kind of blotchy too, which is great. It represents the naturals very well with its irregular color dye in there. And that's the same as the BC Fly guys. That's what they were looking for. And so I've gone with the same material. It's excellent representation of the natural. So there we go. We're securing that buzzer wrap at the front of the hook here. Give another wrap or two. And we'll give that a cut. And now I simply come in with my 5 to 7 wraps of my black wire for the ribbing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 coming down there. Now we'll just get that tied in there, and you can see how the collar is building up with the burnt orange thread. It's a really good representation of the wing buds on the natural. So when I do it, when I helicopter out, as I pull down on the thread, give it some tension. It really helps the helicoptering process. It keeps it nice and tight there. And there we go. We're going to build up that collar just a little bit, make it a little more prominent behind the bead, and really lock that bead into place. Then I come in with the whip finish tool and get that whip finished off there. Just having a bit of trouble getting my whip finisher started. There we go. Some days it's easier than others, and some days it's not so easy. Okay, get that whip finish. And now I just snip off a stray strand of thread there. Give the whole thing a coating of Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails clear nail polish. It's a great alternative to resins, epoxies, and we'll just give that a coat all over, and I'm just going to spin it in my vise here to make sure it's well coated, nice and even, no drips anywhere. Stray thread there, strand, and now I'll just go over that with the bodkin to remove any of those drips. Now I've got a little excess near the tail there. I'll just move it up, wipe it off in my hands. And that's going to take a little while to dry, so when I want to keep tying flies, what I'll simply do is take a wine cork, stab it in by the point, release it from the vise, and there you have it. It can sit there to dry, and it'll cure very nice. That's a great substitute. I like this one as the smoke and mirrors, as it's got a bit more of that chromy look to it. It's got all the essential features, and again, really easy to tie this in the small patterns because the material is so thin. So give that a try. I'm sure you're going to have some great luck with it. You're going to hook a lot of fish when they're on the small chromies, the 16s and 18s and 20s. If you like what you've seen here, please consider sharing it with some friends and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Tight lines. Bye for now.